Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And today I would like to introduce you to an angel that actually has two names, and it when I explain who this is, you're going to be like, oh, because this one language intersperses these two first letters kind of generically is almost how it comes across. And that angel is the angel Jophiel or Iophiel. And J and I in a lot of the older texts, especially the Yiddish and some of the Aramaic, intersperse the two languages. That's how we end up with Jehovah and Yahweh. When you take the word broken down, the first letter can be easily mixed between the two. So if you hear me bouncing back and forth between Iophiel and Jophiel, there's a reason for that, and it's because it's the same name for the angel. It's literally a translation issue is what I have found. I have I have over the years worked with this angel off and on with the things that I have been interested in. This one's been more of a refreshing one to run into, so it's not been a consistent theme in my life, and she responds to both names evenly, so it doesn't like find the one that works the easiest for you and go with that. The name of Iophiel, the basic meaning is the beauty of God. That's amazing. She is the patron of painters, masons, sculptors, the visionary types, artists, gardeners, those who can hold secrets. And I thought that was an interesting little thing when I ran across it, because she's buddies with another angel that's really big on secrets. She works with interior decorators and those who are philanthropists, so very much about giving and sharing. Going along with the decorator part, in a lot of modern texts, she's associated with those who practice the art of feng shui. That was fascinating because she's all about order and beauty, and feng shui is about setting your house up for beauty, health, and well, different needs. But it was just, that was an interesting connection that was made with her. If you like to work with planets, we have quite the little circus here. Standard, traditional, her planet is Venus. But then you have Paracelsus, who says her planet is Jupiter. Then you have Henry Cornelius Agrippa that associates her with Saturn. Out of the three, Saturn makes no sense. Saturn is the disciplinary father of the inner planets, so how does that fit in with this beauty of God aspect? And I couldn't find a good reference. I've even went through Agrippa's book, and I was like, this is such a weird association that he makes here. But suffice to say, there's three planets you can work with. The day of the week, if you like to work with the days specifically, is Friday. Her mission, so each angel has a goal to a point, and that is to open the eyes of humanity to the beauty within the world. To open our eyes and see the beauty in the hearts of all humanity, and the beauty within the heart of the Creator. So she's got a big mission, really, but she's in a very important position, so she can actually help a lot of people with that mission. And I don't know what's going on with my lighting today. I couldn't get it to settle up down. If you like to work with crystals and gemstones, the standard angels, which is agate, quartz, crystal, can go with any angel. Then we have jade, malachite, opal, rhodochrosite, rose quartz. Of course it's rose quartz. It's a loving stone. Ruby, a little more intense on that, but it's still more associated with love. Green and pink tourmaline. There's actually a watermelon tourmaline, which would be perfect because it has both colors, if you like those kind of stones. She really likes the spring and the summer months, so you'll probably have more of an interaction, spontaneous interaction in those times. These are the times of the year when new life and beauty is everywhere. This video is going up on the 22nd of February, so in my neck of the woods, spring is just around the corner, and when everything starts to wake up from its winter slumber, you don't want to be indoors at all. Like, you just want to be outside. And that's the energy of Iophiel. The animals and birds that she's most commonly seen around is the peacocks and the swans, which, I mean, again, beauty and grace, which is interesting because they're both beautiful, graceful birds. But if you've ever been around a peacock or a swan, there's another side to those beautiful creatures, and it's really aggressive, which we'll get into that because there is a really perfect association with peacocks and swans with Iophiel. Any color can be used to call upon her because beauty is in everything, but yellow is the one that tends to be the most common, so you can use like yellow candles or yellow altar cloths if you do altar stuff. So those are kind of the basics. I'm going to say one thing here, and I'll explain it further, because Iophiel Jophiel has a massive reach. The common choir that she's associated with is the cherubim. In particular, she works with the group of angels called the Shem Hamforesh, which is a group within the cherubim, and I'm going to go into that a little bit more later on. She, like I said, she has such a broad-ranging reach that one choir doesn't quite fit the bill. In most references, Iophiel appears female, which is why I'm referring to her as female. There are a couple of spots that I've ran across over the years that respond to Jophiel as the more masculine, but they're not super common references. I'm just going to go with the feminine aspects because Iophiel and Jophiel throughout history have been seen primarily as the female. She does show up in one particular deck of tarot cards, and we have the ego card, protection against your ego, and that is her in the back, reminding this person that your ego is not your enemy, but it also cannot be the dominant force. The ego is a tool. And we also see her in the number 17, which is the star, and this is in her purest form. It is revealing the secrets, it is shining light, it is spreading grace and glory. So you've got a lot of powerful energy coming in with, and they put Jophiel on the card. So again, you can switch the names in and out with this particular angel. And as I said earlier, Iophiel or Jophiel is classified in a lot of instances as an archangel as well. You'll see that name, like with these guys, it's the Archangel. But she can also be associated with, if you work with Kabbalah, the Sephira of Bina. And there is one author, and this is the most commonly sourced one, that says, and the author's name is Robert Ambelin, who claims that Jophiel is in the cherubim. And he's the primary source for a lot of this. I've dug a little bit into it, and I can't find very much variation on this. And that's where the association with the Shem Hamforesh comes in as well. And those are the angels that guard or possess the secret, unspeakable name of God in the Kabbalah. So Jophiel is in charge of some very important angels, according to Robert there. But I've also found her to be associated with the thrones. But this particular connection is loose at best. The cherubim tends to be her primary spot, but in most instances they just call her an archangel. With her mission and what she does on the world, she could literally be in any one of the 9 choirs and be quite at home there. So kind of pick which one. I feel like when she works with us as humans, she's part of the archangels. When she works with the more divine aspects, she's with the cherubim or the thrones. That's just my gut feeling and impression. So again, I'm giving you information. You can use it how you like. Iophiel will come into your life when you need to take a break. She comes to you to remind you of rest, to find the beauty in the simple things in life. And by doing this, she helps you recover, heal, work through issues that are coming forward. Sometimes your shadow comes forward being like, look, trauma, isn't this fun? And you're like, you just get overloaded. And she's like, okay, settle down. Let's go over here and let's process this quietly. Let's get this worked through. What's going on? What's behind the scenes? She wants to remind you that there is time for structure and focus. There's time for that busy rat race, and we all have to have that to a point. But we also need to remember that the rat race is not to be our primary focus in life. The rat race is only supposed to be a portion to help us understand why we need the other. And eventually you can work yourself out of the rat race. That is the goal, but there's lessons to be learned, and that's what she's helping us understand. When Iophiel appears, her pearly white wings are one of the big things that stand out. When I have worked with her, it's usually just this immaculate, glowing, almost moonstone or fire opal wing color, so it's like this flashy brilliance. It's beautiful. The typical appearance of her is in pastel green and pink robes, complementing that amazing shimmer to her wings, and the unbelievable beauty of her countenance. She's basically the most perfect face in the angelic choirs that I've run across anyway. She carries a divine light that glows from within everywhere with her. There is another time that she's a little less soft, and that's when she's on the warpath. And then it's silver armor, white accents, but she still flashes with that divine spark. And when she shows up, she is an exceptionally powerful force walking onto the scene. And she works when in that aspect with Michael in defense of the innocent or in defense of beauty. She also comes forward to defend specific spiritual practices. Again, we'll talk about that here in a second, because she has some very specific things that she guards. If you don't see angels in a physical sense, like you and me type thing, and some people don't, I know several authors that only reference them by an aura color because they don't see them in a physical form. Her general color or condition would be a beautiful glowing yellow cloud, very soft, very gentle, kind of like a wispy mist almost. And if she comes in a more warlike state, you'll still see that similar aura, but you're going to see flashes of electricity in it, which means she's a little fired up. So Iophiel's demeanor overall, though, is very gentle. She loves beauty. She loves things of beauty. And beauty, some people mistake it for, oh, it's the France runway model, that's the only beauty. Or, oh, look, they're in a magazine, they're beauty. Yes, but that's like this much of the beauty in the world, really. Because beauty shows up in food. We eat with our eyes before we ever smell or taste our food. If you ever go through a cookbook, you can, by seeing it, you get the impression of the food itself. So food has a lot of beauty in it. Don't overeat, because then you have then you have to go through what I'm dealing with, was like, how do I get rid of all the beauty that I have ingested? Then you have things like flowers. Flowers in general are beautiful, and there's times where you'll find weeds that catch your attention more than the perfectly manicured and laid out flower garden. Beauty exists in everything to a certain extent. Paintings, of course, landscapes. One of my favorite things to do is get onto a hilltop, like hike up a ridge, get up on a top, and just cast your view upon the valley. Doesn't matter what's in the valley at that distance, it is so peaceful and so beautiful. And Iophiel's energy can be felt very easily there, because you are seeing things from a broader perspective, and B, in a sense of peace, because what else do you have to do at that point? You're up there, enjoy the view. And that's where, this is a weird side note here, but if you ever get the chance to listen to the Bette Midler version of Wind Beneath My Wings, and From a Distance, as the other one, From a Distance is probably more important in this aspect, but listen to the words. Put on like a YouTube video of just beautiful scenery, no music or nothing to that, and then play that song, her version of From a Distance, and just observe. I'm getting goosebumps right now. Because when you do that and you listen to the words and you are seeing these images, it gets you in that mindset of there really is beautiful everywhere. And that's what Iophiel's energy can bring forward for you, especially if you're having a hard time. That song, I can guarantee you, if you're having a hard time, listen to that song and watch Beauty. You're going to end up finding yourself with tears pouring down your face, and it's an emotional release. It's things to let go of, and it's, like I said, super, super intense, but it's also very healing. So, back to Iophiel. She is the guiding hand to the happy news story. She is the one that helps you focus on the good things in life. Again, I don't watch the news anymore. I've given up on that because all they do is, there was an old phrase from years ago, if it bleeds, it leads. Literally, they are paid to make you depressed. So find something new. Find happy stuff. That doesn't mean to not be aware. Be aware of it, but don't bury yourself in it. And that's where Iophiel's energy can come forward to be like, okay, that's enough of that. Let's go over here and find some positive stuff. Oh, look, these people are helping out fill in the blank charity, and they're doing so on their own. They're not taking money. They're just going out and doing. The positive, the happy, the beautiful is what she wants to keep as a focus. It helps heal the soul to observe beauty. She likes to remind us that life is precious and should be celebrated at all times. And people, if you're going through struggles, you're dealing with hardships, family members are sick, or people have passed away, however that works, are there not to remind us of the sadness? Life is precious. It's also very delicate, weirdly enough. And it should be celebrated. It should be brought into happy places. When someone passes away in the Western culture, it's like this humongous period of mourning. Everyone cries, everyone carries on for days, if not years. And yes, I'm not kidding. And yes, it is sad. But there are other cultures where there's sadness, but they focus on what did that person do in their life? What are your great memories? What is your positive? You're still crying and you're still upset, but you're also realizing that that person had an amazing existence. Look at all the people that they touched. Look at how they, came forward in life and how they stood out, even if they were just a checker at freaking grocery store. That's the part that Iophiel can help you see. It's the positive stuff that helps us stay in a growth state. You need the darkness to bump you into that sometimes, but why focus on just the dark? There's a duality in this world, light and dark, masculine, feminine, good, bad, all that. Why just focus on one side? That doesn't work well, and that's what she's bringing forward. If you're looking to improve your home, decoration-wise, she can help with the feng shui, getting rid of the clutter, what would look best, what colors go good together. She's also a really good angel for spring cleaning because she can help you, like, oh, I've been carrying this around and it reminds me of this time, blah, 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 really super negative, and she'll be like, why are you keeping that? There's no positive association with that whatsoever. Get rid of it. And it's things like that where, remember the lesson, but why are you carrying around an emotional trophy of the trauma? Like, let it go. So, Iophiel brings in dance and laughter. So when you're working on your spring cleaning, put on some really good music. Get yourself moving and motivated to keep going. Put a movie on that's funny, just something comedy special type, where you can laugh as you're going. It puts you in a better space and allows you to see, is this good? Is this bad? Do I need it? Get rid of it. Clutter breaks down that negative energy. So she's really good about that. And if you are listening to music, allow your feet to tap. Let your body move with it as you're doing your thing. If you're watching a funny movie, laugh out loud. Don't be like, kind of snicker. Let your body have the experience of joy, of laughter, of funny. I've been around people who will watch funny movies. I'm laughing. There's like 3 other people laughing. Everyone else is kind of like doing this behind the hand snicker because they don't want to let themselves be happy. You're the ones that need this movie more than I do. Watch this movie. Like, you'll find yourself smiling for no reason when Iophiel's close, and it's sometimes you just need to let go and laugh. Sometimes you kneel it, go and cry, but that's a different angel. But with the Iophiel, it's like how to heal through it and find the positive and the beauty there. Music and art are across all cultures. Beauty is across all cultures, and explore a little bit. I will say, for me personally, there are types of music I find straight up repulsive. Does that mean someone else doesn't like them? No, that's their decision, that's mine. There's art. There's certain arts, amazing. There's other ones, But that's where you find what fits for you, and that's something that Iophiel can help you see and understand. And as I said earlier, with some of the warrior and protective stuff, Jophiel is exceptionally close friends with Metatron, and that's when I talked about the keeping secrets and guiding humanity. So if you're on the path of a spiritual search in life, you're trying to understand your purpose, what's the point of all this chaos we live in, she can help you understand why you're here, what you're doing here, and where you're headed. Doesn't mean she's going to show you the entire pathway. That's impossible. We live in a I just lost the word. Basically, you have a lot of options ahead of you. And Metatron is the guiding of ascension and growth. So with these two coming in to help, you're going to figure some things out real quick. It's going to be gentle. Neither one of them want to be hostile with you, but they're also not going to let you blind yourself. And if you choose to do that, they're going to walk away and be like, when you're ready, call us, but we're not going to do this. So things to think about if you call on them. Be ready for the truth to be revealed and the path to be set up for you. If you are in a really dark place and you don't feel worthy, you don't feel attractive, where you look in the mirror and you can't look yourself in the eye, like you just look away. When you can bring yourself to look in the mirror, Louise Hay talks about this in her mirror work stuff, where when you say affirmations with her stuff, you look yourself directly in the eyeball. Right here. Right there. Because if you can't look yourself in the eye, you actually are not speaking to your soul. This is something that Iophiel can help you with, help you understand the deeper aspects of who and what you are, and help you understand that you have beauty and greatness within you that is unlike anyone else. And I'm not saying this to feed ego. You are a unique person. Your genetic line, even if you're a twin, is going to be slightly different than the other person. Your ability to be a beautiful soul is different from anyone else on this planet. Your fingerprint doesn't match anyone else. It's unique. So are you. And that's where finding this balance of the beauty, expanding that beauty, your growth, your spiritual ascension. Jophiel and Metatron are both focused on that. That's their goals. So having them come in, be okay and ready for the growth and the change, because it's not going to be, we're just going to coddle you along. She's going to be like, dude, why are you like this? Look at all what's going on. Let's move it up. She'll start off gentle, but she has a little bit of a firm side when she needs to. Some of the legends about her is that she is the angel that guards the tree of knowledge of good and evil within the Garden of Eden. And once Eden was taken up to heaven, one of the heavenly courts, that's when she partnered with Metatron to help humans with their spirituality and help Michael in battling the forces of evil, and more so on her side, the forces of ugliness, because, can't have ugly in the world. And that's where this image comes up in a lot of the sources that I was digging through. And if you'll notice, when you look at her weapon here at the bottom, down here in this bottom corner, it is a catechus. It's the two coiled snakes pointing at the center. They're not winged, but this is that healing aspect of her. She's helping you see, heal, and grow through the issues in life. So she has very big big plans in her world. Most sources point to Iophiel's first appearance in writings around the 5th century AD, but I'm pretty sure that if you were to dig further back, you would find her all the way back to Samaria in some aspect. There more research that they do, the further back this information goes. But for now, most of the sources point to around the 5th century. It is also said that in the Zohar and Kabbalah, that Iophiel looks over and guards those who read the Sabbath. That's also where that warrior aspect comes in. Reading the Torah in the Kabbalah and more Jewish line of thought is something that is so sacred that the angels come in to protect you while reading it, and that's kind of a cool thought, really. And the Sabbath in the Jewish tradition is the most sacred day of the week, so having Iophiel come in to protect that is also saying this is protection of your connection to God's source divine. And those who practice the Kabbalah fall under the protection of the top triad in the Sephiras, which Bina is one of the top ones. That's Iophiel's domain. So you get to work with some pretty high-end angels here. One of her nicknames is the Princess of the Torah because she is a protector of the Torah. And that's primarily in the Zohar and the Kabbalah texts. And when you really start to think about what her place is in the world, this is quite a powerful, powerful angel. And the fact that she, in most of the instances that I've read about, is very quick to respond. She wants to help humans. She wants to help us grow, wants to help us get to better places. That's pretty impressive. She helps guard the sacred name of God's source divine, not words we're using, but like the actual unspeakable name. And she wants to interact with us at the same time. That's a bridge between worlds that most people, unless they've chosen to go down a path of research and study, would never even hear about. So, something to think about. And as I've said before, I've referenced a couple ways to access her or to introduce yourself to her. Other ways you can do that if you want to introduce yourself to Iophiel is to, you can pick up a deck of these cards and just have the image in front of you, or you can get a candle, preferably yellow, and have like something beautiful around the crystals that I referenced earlier, and just bring yourself into a quiet state, have some quiet, beautiful music playing, and ask Iophiel or Jophiel to come forward that you want to introduce yourself, and pay attention to the sensations. She's going to bring in beautiful thoughts, beautiful feelings, uplifting energy, clearing out of a rough area, like if your house feels kind of heavy, when just her presence is going to help clear some of that out. So you can do things like that. Like I said, climbing up, if you can find a spot, get up to a spot where you can overlook a valley, because there's something so expansive to the mind, at least in my experience and the people I've talked to. When you are in that situation where you're above everything else and you're seeing a broader perspective, you have an ability to see beauty in a way that's a little more uncommon. You can also do it by looking into microscopes and teeny tiny pictures, but the broader aspect of the world becomes so much less intimidating when you can see it from that broader perspective. And then you also start to realize sometimes those problems that you felt were so big in your personal life really aren't, and that gives you a way to work through the problem and release the tension around it. So let me know in the comments down below if you've ever worked with this angel, if you've ever had any experiences with her, and I will see you in the next video.